Howdy.
When I'm surprised, I just do a moment of silence.
Yep, she knows. She just got the text message and looked up.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Commissioner Bloomer, Brian Mon, and Miles Davison are present. The notice of the meeting was properly posted on December 1st, and District 3's Chelsea Barnett's going to lead us in the prayer and pledge.
Oh, gracious Father, we come to you this morning, Lord. We humble ourselves before you. We seek your face, Lord. We start to turn from our wicked ways, Lord. Pray that you would come from heaven, you would hear from heaven, and that you would forgive our sins, Lord. I just pray for your presence to be over this meeting today. Pray for your protection over all of our county employees, Lord, and just pray your blessing and your grace. In Jesus' name. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
See how great she did.
Thank you, Chelsea. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of both November 21st and 30th?
I'll move we approve.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opening of the bids.
Good morning. We have two bid openings for today. The first one is CW 23075 for voter ballots. Royal Printing Company. The second one is bid opening CW 23025-2 for highway materials, supplies, and services. TNC Asphalt Materials. Logan County Asphalt. We have two for Vance Brothers. Dub Ross Company. Atlas Paving Company, Brown Transportation, Martin Marietta Materials, Oklahoma Cement Solutions, TJ Campbell Construction, A&A Trucking, Haskell Lemon Construction, General Materials, Silver Star Construction, there's 2 for Silver Star Construction, First Water Contracting, Trinitas Materials LLC, Delis, Tri-City Steel Company. That concludes our bids.
I'll move they be tabulated and returned.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
You want to go forward with the recommendations now? Okay, wasn't sure.
Yes, thank you. For item 3, lawn maintenance supplies, I'm requesting to strike. We need a little bit more time to evaluate that bid.
I'll move to strike.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. On item 4, this is for CW 23073 warehouse shelving units. I am recommending award to the low bid storage equipment company. We received 4 bids on this.
Is this for the court clerk's storage?
The court clerk's office is the primary department requesting of these, but the way we bid it out was so that any department that needed some storage shelving could also purchase those.
I'll move approval, or I'll move approval of the recommendation of the purchasing office.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Number 5 is in regards to P23940-02 Architect, Engineer, and Consultant Services. The reason for submitting an RFQ was to be compliant with federal rules and regulations. This is something that is already existing, already well in place and successful. And we wanted to make sure that our solicitation met those rules, and any responses that we received, which we received 19, we want to make sure those are added to our current list to expand that and provide Oklahoma County as much services as we can. And so I'm recommending that we add all 19 responses of those qualified firms to our pre-qualified list.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the claims?
I'll move we approve our claims.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And no change to the blanket.
I'll move our blanket purchase orders.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, any individual consideration on the consent docket? If not, is there a motion?
I'll move approval of our consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
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 Mr. Work, you're here for item 17.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Commissioners and Mr. Chairman. Thank you. My name is Kelly Work, and I am appearing before you this morning on this item that is recommended for approval from the Oklahoma County Finance Authority. We were here in June of this year for phase 1 of this Santa Fe South charter school project. That phase one closed on June 30, 2022, and was in the amount of $18,085,000. This phase two will be in an amount not to exceed $15 million. And with me today here, and I'll call on Chris Brewster in just a moment. He's the superintendent of the Santa Fe South Charter Schools, and then also present is Brooks Levinitis, who is Chief Financial Officer with Santa Fe South Schools. As you all know, the Oklahoma County Finance Authority is a public trust that has Oklahoma County as its beneficiary, and it is available for these types of conduit financing bond issues that benefit Oklahoma County, including educational facilities such as these that will be funded with the proceeds from this bond issue. A feature of the conduit financing is that these are not obligations of Oklahoma County. The bondholders will have to look to the project for repayment, and their purchases will be based on, of course, their assessment of the strength of the project. So they are limited obligations of the authority, but they are, as I mentioned, not an obligation of Oklahoma County. Let me ask Mr. Chris Brewster to come forward, if he would, and he can give you some details about the projects that are the proceeds from this bond issue will help to fund, and also just kind of what's happening with respect to Santa Fe South Schools in connection with this financing. Thank you.
Mr. Brewster.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing us to be here today. As you are aware, charter schools often are limited in options for facility acquisition and development. And Santa Fe South is entering, to complete its 21st year of operation. And because we have strong financial standing and our development corporation has been quite capable of managing the limited properties we have, we're really pleased to be able to finally access this type of long-term financing. The first tranche was able to help us start projects based on high school classroom expansion, some outdoor learning facilities, and improvement of classroom spaces within some of our buildings now. The second disbursement is designed to primarily take over long-term debt obligations from the development of property at the Crossroads Mall location, where we have a middle school and high school. Previously, that project has been funded through a deal that contained new market tax credits, and that particular unwind will take place this December. And we're really pleased to be able to look toward long-term stable financing through this particular vehicle. So ready to answer any questions you might have. And if I don't know, I've got folks here who do know how to answer the questions.
So I've toured your middle and high school over at Crossroads Mall and was very impressed. Can you remind us do you have any other locations?
Yeah, we have about 8 locations across South Oklahoma City, and we're in places that were old private schools like our Sparrow Upper. There was one that was in an armory, and it's now an early childhood center. We have one at the old YMCA on Penn. We have one that occupies space that was a kind of a bingo hall, and then it was a grocery store bingo hall, and then now it's an early childhood center as well. So we've been taking and transforming spaces across the south side for education opportunities for some time now.
And the last time I saw you, your hair was a little different.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
You had dyed your hair on a student bet or something?
A student challenge, yes. I'm pleased that Friday I was able to finally remove the vestiges of the yellow hair. Yeah. Yeah, she didn't follow through on her end of the deal, so she may not get to graduate this year, but I did follow through on mine.
Okay. And how many students do you have in your system?
We have just under 4,000 right now, with around 700 on the waiting list, and look to expand next year between 300 and 500 more. So
Nice.
Questions?
No, sir.
I'm, of course, very familiar with your work, and you've done a great job in the community, and you've really helped target a lot of areas that could struggle, and education otherwise, if not for you. So I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Okay. If there's no other questions, anyone want to move for approval?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Kelly,
Thank
as
you.
always.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Because it may pertain to some of the following things, we have citizens to be heard. Mr. Washington.
Thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I want to start, and I promise I told y'all long. I don't know what it is in the stomach this morning. Well, I have a good friend of mine, and I say good friend, that's getting ready to leave his position in the Oklahoma County House of Horror. It is a great day for the citizens of the state of Oklahoma. But there's still one plaguing knot in this equation. And I think his name is Greg Monday. He has to go. That's right. And the equation is not complete with me until all accessible possibilities of problem has been eradicated totally, not some way. Now then. But Mr. Greg Williams leaving is not in itself going to be what's necessary to change things in the House of Horror, because that flagrant, reckless, diabolical system still remains in place that's going to be inherited by someone who's going to take his place. We have to redo, challenge, and fix an antiquated system that's not quite ready for our future. You got people dying constantly, repeatedly, and unnecessarily, which has been proven by the Department of State of Health. But I'm saying, hey, everybody that's listening to me on the sound of my voice, listen to me carefully, everybody. I mean business. We're not quite finished yet. And like I said, as long as I'm in here, I'm going to make sure that the county jail is run up to constitutional standards. Oh, let's close it down all together. We certainly don't need a bigger jail. Watch this one here. We certainly do not need a bigger jail. Why? Because you already have a shortage of staff with the small jail. Watch this one. Now look how much more worse and contaminated people's foods are going to be. Not going to have access to outdoor recreation. Medical procedures are so, oh man, frighteningly, there's not even a name to even recommend them. This medical procedure, same people, watch this one, everybody, listen to this one carefully. The same people that let my nephew die 4 years ago, talking about running the system over here, medical procedures, no, man, no. They got to go to. That's right. And until we can accept our responsibilities on a humanistic level, until we can say, hey, friend, I'm not your buddy here, lives are at stake, and those lives will be important to me. Watch this one. Let me get ready to close. Did y'all know that the man that's leaving us, I don't think y'all knew it, did you? Stated very clearly, and my mind does not play tricks on me, COVID is my friend. That's right, Greg Williams said it. And watch this one here. The great man, not great man, wonderful, loving mom died from this COVID thing. And I don't care if it was a slip of the tongue. You're in a position of authority to make people misunderstand you, sir, if you don't be careful with your words today. That's why I carefully select mine. So I know what I'm going to do.
All right, wrap it up.
I'm getting ready now. Thank y'all very much for this opportunity. And now let me say this here. I'd like to put in a bid to become the new CEO over there. I guarantee you that we're going to get it done right. Thank you.
Mr. Ravitz.
Thank you, Commissioner. I am here today to tell you after 4 years and 2 months, the Oklahoma County Public Defender's Office is back on the 6th floor. I personally want to thank a bunch of people. I want to thank the 3 of you because I promise you we probably have the nicest public defender office in the United States right now. I want to thank Stacy and Nick and their crew for overseeing this. I want to thank the Budget Board for their loyal support in of making sure we're adequately funded and able to put in a few new things that we will finish putting in the next couple weeks. Additionally, I want to tell you, we had a moving company that assisted in the moving of my office and Commissioner Calvi's office. But if it hadn't been for Shine, I guarantee we would have spent probably $12,000 to $15,000 more on moving based on the quotes that I got from other moving companies. And Shine moved a whole bunch of things for us. I want to thank my friend Rick Warren because he stored stuff at his warehouse for over 4 years. But most of all, I'm unbelievably proud of what we have. There have been a few district judges have toured the offices already, and they were unbelievably impressed. District Attorney Prater was walked through the offices. He was unbelievably impressed. So all in all, I just think you all did a wonderful job, and I specifically want to say thanks a lot. I know my staff does. I think as a result of that, I'll have less turnover. Lawyers are going to have doors at their offices now and private offices to actually talk to clients, to actually work on cases, to actually feel like lawyers. I know it's been a long time coming, and I know you all assisted in trying to make it as smooth as possible. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, any other citizens before we take up these remaining items? If not, number 18 is the calling for an election of directors for Office 1 of the County Free Fair. This is the giving notice of the election and filing period, date, place, and time of the election. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve resolution.
Sorry, I'm reading this. I'll second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
District 1.
Mr. Thompson, are you here? I know he was going to try to be here. Okay. I am very proud to appoint Mr. Sandino Thompson to our Citizen Advisory Board that's going to oversee the construction of the new jail. I believe we are calling it Citizen Bond Oversight Advisory Board. And I would like to read Mr. Thompson's bio just so you all have a good sense of what he's worked on. And if he happens to walk in, I'll point him out. Sandino Thompson is a community developer and thought leader with a passion for social innovation and inclusive development. He has over 20 years of experience successfully managing multi-million-dollar commercial and residential construction projects encompassing design build, new construction, complete renovation, and historic preservation throughout the country. Mr. Thompson has combined this experience with an extensive number of community and economic development initiatives focused on neighborhood stability and revitalization. This work has included economic and workforce development in rural and urban communities, particularly along the Gulf Coast and throughout the state of Oklahoma, as well as in developing countries such as Haiti, Mozambique, and Kenya. He is heavily involved in the redevelopment efforts of Northeast Oklahoma City, with commercial developments along Northeast 23rd Street that have won local, state, national, and global acclaim for innovation, placemaking, and community impact. His activities include consultation design and investment in numerous projects and partnerships that improve the physical infrastructure of the built environment while expanding social infrastructure that provides for more resilient and sustainable communities. He has led public-private partnerships to positively impact human self-sufficiency through affordable housing, technical and vocational skills training, primary, secondary, and higher education reform, adolescent health and youth development, and adult education, employment, and workforce development. This is all through his roles at Public Strategies and It's My Community Initiative. An entrepreneur at heart, most recently, Mr. Thompson has been involved with the next pivot in the energy economy in Oklahoma towards sustainable energy production and storage as a partner in a company called 820. He holds a Bachelor of Science in Construction Management Engineering with a minor in Political Science from OSU. I don't believe he is here, but I am proud to appoint Mr. Thompson. He is a friend and a resident of Northeast Oklahoma City, and I think will be a really good asset to this citizen board. So if there are no comments or questions, I will move number 19.
Second.
Mr. Washington.
All right, now, Mr. Blumer, we're trying to be nice around these parts. Don't ignore me. That's what I'm here for. Now, I don't have a problem with this gentleman. I've seen him before. But no one contacted me and asked me if I want to be on that board. You want to know why? I know this 1 minute. You want to know why? Because I'm not one of them easy to get along with people. Not because I'm antisocial. But if I see something that's not right, man, I'm going to correct that. If my mama get in the way, I'm going to correct her. Why? Because she told me, son, no matter what goes on, if I'm wrong, correct me. So I just want to say, how do I get even recommended for that? I mean, is there more room for board members? I'd like to be on that board.
You can speak to Mr. Tardibono.
Oh, thank you. That's all I needed to know.
All right, there's a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 20.
Mr. Coolman. This is another CPACE assessment contract.
Thank you, Commissioner. The CPACE project that we have up for today for consideration is the Main Street Arcade LLC. This is located at 621 West Main Street, which is basically Lee and Main Street, an old Baptist church. And the amount of the contract is $830,000 and $874.22. And the building renovations will include an entire new shell and improvements with that, lighting upgrades, water heat replacement, and low plumbing water fixtures. And so I would recommend its approval.
I'll move approval.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Sorry you had to wait so long. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, item 21, our representatives from the election board. Would you like to come up to the microphone and maybe introduce yourselves and say what your role is? I think there's 3 of you. Thank you for patiently waiting.
Kelly, I'm the financial officer.
Hi, Kelly.
I'm Tony Culpepper. I'm over the precinct officials. My name is Angela DeBose. I'm one of the inspectors for one of the local precincts.
Which precinct are you with?
I'm in precinct 400.
Nice. Well, I wanted to bring these ladies up here to recognize your work in our election a few weeks ago. And there are thousands of volunteers that make our elections go smoothly. We almost never have issues in Oklahoma and in Oklahoma County with the elections going awry. They're always run so smoothly. So I just wanted to bring you all here and recognize your work and read this resolution on your behalf. Is there anything else you'd like to comment about the election a few weeks ago?
Glad it's over.
Yes.
Yes, that's for real.
All right. This is a resolution thanking and commending all Oklahoma County election officials and volunteers for their tireless effort and sacrifice in support of the November 2022 election. Whereas elections are the foundation of our democracy, and whereas Oklahoma County has 288 election precincts, and whereas Oklahoma County has 877 precinct officials and volunteers that worked on the November 2022 election day. And whereas precinct officials and volunteers arrived at the polls at 6 a.m. and worked diligently, making sure all voters had been processed before they left, many staying after 7:30 p.m. And whereas, due to the precinct officials and volunteers' tireless efforts, Oklahoma County was able to conduct a free and fair election despite threats from fringe groups. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners of Oklahoma County does hereby commend and sincerely thank all Oklahoma County precinct officials and volunteers for their tireless effort and sacrifice in support of the November 2022 election, approved this 5th day of December 2022. Thank you all.
A testament to how well you work is the recount in the DA's race this summer. And I just think it's incredible. So thank you for all you do.
I would add one more whereas, if it were up to me, and it would be a whereas you guys have tirelessly put up with my mother, which is one of the precinct chairman for this election. So for that, I whereas, thank you very much.
Well, we thank your mom for doing it too. Okay, is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
District 3.
Let's get this clear. Yes, District 3, this is the appointment to the Oklahoma County Citizens Bond Oversight Advisory Board. We're proud to nominate Javier Nera. He's got an extensive background in construction, over 22 years. Mr. Nera is sitting on the back row back there if you want to stand up and come up, or either way. But Mr. Nera and I first met each other when I worked for the Speaker of the House some almost 20 years ago. And we put together an initiative that was called 100 Ideas, where we developed some great initiatives to streamline construction and roads and bridges and get us to where we are today with having much better roads and bridges in the state of Oklahoma. But that's why I proudly nominate him, his extensive construction background, and if there are any questions, I'll move approval.
Thank you for being willing to serve.
All right.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Javier, for being here. County Clerk,
Thanks,
Ms.
Javier.
Hudson.
Good morning. This is the statute that allows, by resolution, to reimburse the election board for the reimbursements and goes back into general fund. Standard.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Engineering, thank you, Ms. Hudson.
Carrie.
This is a change order for our 6th floor project, $9,383. It's for a couple of doors and a few extra communication outlets. It should be the last one as we finish up this project.
Is everyone pretty much moved in?
I believe everyone has moved their furniture in and testing it out.
We have boxes in place.
Same, yes. Mr. Monroe. Okay, he's not here. I'll ask him offline. Move approval of item 24.
Second, and I'd like to commend you on the only 2% in change orders. That's pretty.
Yes, I'm
pretty
happy
impressive.
with that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 25, I'm recommending the commissioners have a new policy concerning our right-of-ways that would allow our citizens that are adjacent to our right-of-ways to work with us to convey water across our right-of-way that would help them out. The permit is basically follows your utility permits that you give to utility companies. This would just be a right-of-way permit for our citizens that own land. And they would have to submit plans. They would have to make sure the utilities are not affected and provide erosion control and that sort of thing. And if they successfully do all that, my office and your superintendents will work with them to make a successful project that helps everyone. That's the purpose of it.
Should save a lot of disruption down the road. Is there a motion?
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is Eric going to speak to us about 26?
This is a planning item that was in front of the Planning Commission towards the end of November. This particular item is located at Penn and Waterloo Road. What they're requesting is rezoning from R2 to a PUD. PUD in this particular case was going to be a residential development, approximately 11 lots on 10 acres. There were quite a few people that showed up to the meeting itself, the Planning Commission meeting, to voice their opinion in regards to this particular development. Everyone there had protesting this particular item, and a lot of that had to do with water concerns, traffic, were the main concerns that were brought up. But that's all I had, unless you had any particular questions.
I think Joe sat for me this day on planning commission. Was it unanimously approved or what was the vote?
It was unanimously denied.
It was unanimously denied. Okay.
This is in your district, isn't it?
Yeah, this is
it is.
D3.
Yeah. It was denied because of water probably being first and foremost, and I'm sure sewage was probably brought up as well.
Water, not necessarily getting water to the site. Deer Creek Water had provided a letter as far as going to provide water. It was more water in regards to once the development took place, adjacent property owners being affected with development from water runoff. That was a concern as far as flooding their properties. Apparently there's issues out there to some degree currently. They thought that adding these additional homes would just exacerbate that issue.
Do you remember who the developer was?
The applicant was Blatt Architects. I don't remember the actual property owner itself. This was an item that was brought in front of the Planning Commission earlier this year. At that particular time, the PUD was commercial, but also the residential. The residential portion had not changed between this application and the previous, just the commercial portion was removed.
Okay.
Is this Shoemaker? Is
No.
that which one this one is?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. Honestly, I don't remember who the developer was on it.
Is there anyone here to speak to this?
I think in my few years on the planning commission, I don't know if we ever approved new residential development in the Deer Creek area? Because I think there's protests every time.
We've approved development in the area. There's some interesting things that are happening in that area as well. Oklahoma City is starting to reach up every once in a while and take a little bit more and a little bit more. So we just don't know enough about this one, unfortunately. I wasn't able to be at.
You want to continue it?
Yeah, if we could do that, I'd appreciate that.
Well, since they're not here to even speak for themselves, I don't see how they can object.
I'll make the motion to defer to the next regularly scheduled BOCC meeting.
Do you think the developer assumed we would deny it, given that the planning commission denied it? That's why they may not be here.
That's my assumption. I mean, like I said, this item was in front of the Planning Commission and the Board of County Commissioners previously. In regard, like I said, it was just a different application. There was commercial. There was no commercial in this application. The same people that were at the Planning Commission in November were at the Planning Commission previously. It was a lot of the same issues as far as the protests go. So I think the same people just have an issue with what's there, what they're proposing. I mean, it sits on the border of us and Logan County. There's not really a lot of development out there recently. If you go back to the master plan for the county, all of that is, at least in the master land use plan, is zoned for just rural development, 2 acres minimum and larger. So it's out there on the border. I just think a lot of people, at least adjacent property owners, feel that that kind of development at this point in time is a little more than what they're willing to deal with.
And they're half-acre lots?
Right, half-acre lots, maybe a little bit smaller in that neighborhood.
I'm fine continuing it.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Eric. Is Mr. Warren still here? I can't see.
He's back there.
All right, did you want to speak to item 27? Okay. I think probably these could be taken as a group unless you have any individual consideration for items 28 through
42.
40. I was thinking through 42. You don't think, Sharon? I'm sorry, 27, yeah.
I think I have some comments on 27, 29, and 30.
Okay, well, we'll take 27 separate. Go ahead.
So I think my only concern about this, Mr. Warren, is our time frame. I know that included in this project is asbestos removal, which is needed. And I know that our sixth floor remodel took 4 years. And so I'm concerned, I'm gonna vote for this, but I just wanna put it on the record that I am concerned about the time frame. And I think we need to be very aware, and try to work with you as best we can to meet the ARPA guidelines with the time frame with this project.
As far as my office, we've already identified space where we can move to,
Okay.
which would be the fourth and fifth floor of the next building. And we can move our staff over, we can be moved pretty quickly. We don't need a lot of build out for that.
Okay.
And so that would be the thing. Other things is just getting everything lined up on the construction side. And Keith has said that they would have to get plans drawn up and have to get some engineering done. And so we have no control in my office over that.
Right.
In your other professional life, you do a lot of construction.
Still do, yes.
And I know that we're staring at an option that would expedite things on the fourth floor, and that'd be encapsulation versus removal of the asbestos that's in the ceiling. Not that you're an asbestos expert, but do you have any experience with encapsulation?
At every place I've ever seen it used, it works fine. I mean, as long as it's done right as a professional company, it works just as good as removing it. It's a little quicker.
Yeah, and everything I've read, it comes with a warranty, and they come back and check so often, and so
Encapsulating is quicker than removal.
encapsulation happens in a matter of weeks versus a year.
The thing about asbestos, and I don't speak as an expert, asbestos is dangerous once heat hits it. You know, if you look at it under a microscope, there is some dust, asbestos does, but it's straight, and then once it hits, it turns into a fish hook, and I say it gets asbestosis. So if we encapsulate it, there's no reason any heat would be up there, like what happened up on y'all's floor where you're at now, where they removing the roofing with torches. That's not going to happen there. So yeah, I don't see encapsulation would be a problem. Whatever is the cheapest and the quickest, as long as we know it'll work, as long as our engineers, Stacy and Keith and everybody agree that it's the way to go, then.
I've met with Mr. Warren about the schedule, and we can meet
Okay.
the schedule if, we get after and stay after it.
Okay.
My other concern about this is on the fourth floor, that it just says court clerk, but we have to remember that the assessor is also on the fourth floor. I think it's 3,000 some odd square feet or something, but we have to be able to accommodate them being removed from that floor as well.
We spoke about that. The simplest thing and the cheapest thing for the taxpayer is not to do things 2 or 3 times. The simplest thing to do right now, you're remodeling the treasurer's office, you're building him some conference rooms, offices. And so at the same time you're doing that, do the MIS room and make that for the assessor if it's okay with Larry. It'd be Larry's call, but that would be the cheapest because you've got the contractors there. Just utilize them.
Agreed.
Okay, thank you. What was your other item you wanted to talk about?
Item 29 and 30, I noticed that it says pending justification. Is there anyone from Accenture here? Or I know Sheriff's Office may want to speak to this. Andrea?
Specific question about?
Is there a reason why it says pending justification?
We've been working with Accenture on putting together sort of a chart like we did for the first batch of the salary reimbursements that we've already gotten approved and through the process. And we're just working on finalizing that chart with them for this portion of the funding as well.
Okay. And the salary reimbursements, is this for particular officers or for all sheriff's employees?
This portion that's remaining is for the general fund in 2 of our divisions.
Okay.
2 of our bureaus.
So this would essentially be taking ARPA money in place where we already have general fund money to free up general fund money.
These are reimbursements. These are for periods in the past.
For funds that
Our general fund.
general fund. Okay. And no one's here from Accenture. Okay. And I understand in policy and governance, what was the vote? Were you the only no vote? It was 2-1. Okay. you all know I support you. But my concern with this is that this is taking ARPA money to spend on funds that we already have within our general fund to pay for salaries for the sheriff's office. And so my concern, and I've spoken with, I know we've both spoken with our ARPA consultants with Accenture. And then when I was at a NACO event this weekend, I spoke with their staff member about this. And she also had concerns. I explained this to her and she also had concerns. So I am going to vote. I would like to take some items individually. I am going to vote no on 29 and 30, not because I don't think the sheriff's office should have their funding, but because the funding's already there in our general fund. And I have concerns that doing it this way with ARPA funds is not allowed. I'm not going to say that definitely because I'm not an ARPA specialist. That's what our consultant is for. But I do have some concerns that this is not the best way to spend ARPA money. And I do want to make sure we have funds remaining to invest in the community. So I just wanted to get some clarification from you all. But this money, this 29 and 30, I understand it's reimbursement, but it's general fund dollars that we already have existing, that we're not concerned aren't there.
But as a clarification or additional information, this money, when it comes, to our portion of the general fund at the end of this fiscal year, will lapse back to the county.
Correct.
As such, it's general fund money for the use of the county.
Correct.
In whatever way, with no ARPA strings attached to it.
Correct. And I do not, that is exactly what it is. And I don't agree that that is the right use of ARPA funds. Because it's essentially taking ARPA, which has strings attached, flipping it around, and then freeing up general fund money in the same amount to spend on whatever we want. Did you have a comment, Joe?
I'd like to kind of explain why I voted no. As they just mentioned, the ARPA money, because of House Bill 2233 that was passed, allows the Board of County Commissioners to spend that in accordance with the guidelines from Treasury, which allows you all the opportunity to invest in the community. If this money were to revert into the general fund, it would then have to follow all of the strings that you currently have to follow in terms of your authority. So it may lessen the ability to use the funds in the community. So as you mentioned, Commissioner, by doing this, by reimbursing previously budgeted expenses or budgeted expenses going forward, because you'll probably see a similar item for the next 2 years, right, you're lessening your ability to have an impact for the community. That's why I voted no.
Right.
Okay, well, let's go back to item 27. So you want to vote on that? Because obviously we're going to have to vote on these individually.
I'll move approval on item 27.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 28.
Is Mr. Warren still, can you just refresh my memory on where the jury pavilion is going to be built?
Yeah, this is contingent upon getting some analysis done in the alleyway. What they'd like to do is put up some type of covered pavilion. They may have walls to allow for social distancing, but with the number of utilities and things that are in the alley, we're not quite certain. So we're just asking you to set this aside.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, as you mentioned on 29 and 30, I'm assuming you're not making motions for it. So District 3.
No, I'll make the motion to approve 29 and 30.
I'll second. I disagree with your assessment and what Joe's comments are. I don't think there's anything illegal about this whatsoever. Is there any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Item 30.
We just did 29 and 30.
Oh, was that in your motion? Okay. Sharon, did you get that it was for both? Okay. All right, item 31, the drainage culvert.
Motion to approve.
Oh, second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
32, detention center network upgrades.
Commissioner Bloomer, are there other questions on any of the other items? 32 through 42?
I don't think so. Let me double check.
If not, you or I can make the motion to take them all at once, or
I know maybe a week or so ago, we had an item where we had to rescind funding on detention center project so that we could have an agreement in place. Are those items included in this list? No, those will come later.
Those were for,
If I get this right, the item that is related to the detention center is new. And as you mentioned, everything that you rescinded and pulled back is subject to a subrecipient agreement. This would be as well, if I recall that correctly.
So do we need to wait on this one?
No,
Well, they're all-
I think you can go ahead and set the money aside, and then we'll follow up with the subrecipient agreement.
Okay.
which is being developed.
Okay.
I think it's just about that.
It's been passed around several
Okay.
times, so.
I do not think I have any other comments or questions.
All right, is there a motion to take the rest of the items as a whole?
I'll move approval of items 32 through 42.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Again, for the public, these were exhaustively discussed in policy and governance and have been vetted through a censure. All right,
Well,
treasurer.
I do want to say that there are 2 items that say pending. What's pending justification? So items 29 and 30 do not have justification for them. So I do want to make that clear.
You've made it clear. Mr. Treasurer.
Good morning. I think we could take these 4 items pretty fast. In fact, I would recommend that you take 43 and 44 together. This is the investment resolution that we require from the board to be able to invest any money not currently needed out of these 2 specific funds. And of course, both of these funds are new funds coming up. So 43 and 44.
I'll move approval.
Second.
Of both items.
I'll move approval of 43 and 44.
Second as well.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Items 45 and 46 is adding Gateway First Bank to our list of financial institutions within the county that we can invest in. They have some very competitive rates in CDs, and so we'd like to have the opportunity to at least consider them. We can't even do that now unless they are added to the previous resolution that we submitted prior to the beginning of the fiscal year. So that's items 45 and 46.
I'll move approval of 45 and 46.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you for your patience.
Thank you. Also, thank you for not asking me about asbestos. I don't understand a thing about asbestos.
Commissioner comments, District 1.
Last week, I was happy to participate in our National Association's meeting of commissioners from large urban counties. It was a good group of people there. We were in Chicago and discussed a lot of different topics: ARPA, maternal child health, election security, gun violence prevention. It was lots of good sessions, and I met a lot of other good commissioners from similar counties.
Again, thank you for the resolution honoring all those that did the precinct workers. Know that that's a very difficult day for them. And that's it.
New business? If not, is there a motion for executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Okay. What'd you say?
Is there a motion to return to regular session?
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good. All right, item 49.
Item 49, I move we disclaim, subject to any unpaid property taxes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. And same with item 50, I move we disclaim, subject to any unpaid property taxes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any other citizens wishing to be heard? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye. Is Keith gone today? I've never known Keith to miss a meeting. Okay. Oh, good for him.
Are you in?
Yes.
Okay, I call this PBA together. Trustees Bloomert and Mon are present. The notice of the meeting was properly posted December 1st. Is there a motion to approve November 21st minutes?
Move approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there a motion to approve the claims?
Move approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item 3 is to get our financial statements for October through July. Is there a motion to receive?
July through October 22 and 21. Okay. Move approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Several parking spaces.
Move approval.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Is there any citizens wishing to be heard for the PBA? If not, board comments?
No comments.
None for me. Any new business? If not, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.